Anna Aberg, grundare av Extended Freedom Academy. Det här avsnittet av Ekim-podden kommer att bli lite annorlunda, för jag är här med Lisa Natoli som pratar engelska. Så jag kommer att gå över till att prata engelska. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
And I am so excited to be here. You know, when I started to record for this podcast, your name came up everywhere. I got recommended to do your 40-day retreat. I got your book recommended that I have here in Swedish. Yes, gorgeous.
That's from my friend Solveig.
Yes, and you just showed up everywhere. So I am so excited to have you here, and I have to tell you, the 40 days retreat was a game changer for me. I start to cry when I talk about it. It's amazing what you have done and your work.
Oh, thank you so much.
I didn't know I was going to cry. So yes, tell us, how did it all begin? How did you meet the course, or the course met you?
Well, first of all, thank you with all my heart. And I have chills up and down just from this joining with you right now. And I love Sweden. Sweden and Denmark are my just two favorite places in the world. And I am just so grateful for those who are devoted to this awakening. And I love your question, how did the course find me?
Yeah.
You know, because often we think, how did we find it? But it found us. And it found me in 1992. I was living in New York City. I come from a very small town in New Hampshire. And in 1992, I would have been 23, 24. I'm not sure of the exact month, but I read Marianne Williamson's book, A Return to Love. And in the first couple of pages, she mentions these 3 hardcover blue books on a coffee table called A Course in Miracles. And I remember sitting in my apartment in Park Slope, Brooklyn. It was a Saturday. I had been working in publishing in the city, and I had a successful job, great apartment. I mean, I was always somebody who followed the rules. You know, I was a good person. I just did what I thought one should do to try to have a good life and to be happy. But something I knew deep down was fundamentally off. I knew it. I was like, something's just not right here. And so I was reading a ton of spiritual books. And so at that time, I was about 23, 24. And when I heard A Course in Miracles, it was like fireworks went off in my head. And I didn't even think. I just grabbed my purse, my keys, and I just knew I'm going into Manhattan. I took the train, and there was one copy of the book in the bookstore, and it was $30. I actually have my first original one. And I thought, $30? That's crazy. That's like an expensive price for a book. And I kept putting it back on the shelf, and I kept trying to find a book that was less expensive. But I for like an hour, I kept going back to that book, taking it off the shelf, reading it, putting it back, saying $30, that's ridiculous. And finally, I was just like, just buy it. And it's a game changer for me. Like it was, and now, you know, this just came out a couple of years ago. You know, you can see it's a much bigger book.
Yeah.
But this is the original manuscript. This is the Circle of Atonement went and took the original notes that came through Helen Schuckman in 1965 to 1972. And that's unedited. So to me, like, the course found me because I was ready.
Yeah.
And that's what I know. Like, ever since we arrive here in time and space, everything is calling us to wake up. Songs, something someone says, books, but we keep sleepwalking. We keep thinking, oh, that's a nice idea. Oh, that's a nice song. Oh, I like that idea. Oh, that's nice. And we don't wake up. And so when finally one is ready to take this journey. That's why I think I found the course. It flipped my head.
Yeah.
It flipped my mind so completely. I thought, what? Like there's no world. Like the world that I think I see is coming from my thoughts. Like I couldn't just say that's a nice idea. It shocked me. And so it found me because I was asking to wake up. And this was the form that it came in.
It seems to me in hindsight that I can see several moments when I've been called, and exactly as you say, but I was asleep. And for me, the book came early in my life, 93, but I didn't do it. I didn't read it. Uh, but there are other moments that I understand now was a calling. It's so interesting that you say that we are called from day one
Yeah.
here to wake up. And you actually, you live a waked up life.
I live a what kind of a life?
Waked up. You
Oh, I,
are awakened,
yep,
right? And the course took you there.
yep.
How did it
And what
happen?
I like about let you say that is that I spent 20 or 30 years thinking enlightenment or awakening looks like something different. Like I had read so many stories about, awakened
Yeah.
people. And I just thought, well, my life isn't that. Like I'm missing something. And I kept thinking because I'm still in a body that I'm still like to use the course language that I'm still an ego. I'm not there yet. And if so many people over the years say, well, you say you're not a body, but you still have to use the bathroom and you still have to eat and you still have to pay your bills and you still, and those were the questions I used to keep myself stuck with. I used to think, oh yeah, I am still a body. I still am here. And in a moment of decision, and this just happened over the last couple of years, and it happened because I was sick. Like I actually was physically sick for many years. And in a moment of decision, after trying to heal the body and not being successful with that, I made a decision that I was going to just identify completely with my true self, with the light I am. And I was no longer going to try to get out of the body, heal the body. I wasn't going to question things like eating, or I was just going to be the self as this light and totally love myself, totally just love, just to do what the course says. And my experience changed in that instant. It really did, because I didn't care if the body got sicker and sicker. I didn't care. I was like, oh, I'm not the body. I got it. Like I understood as a very direct experience what it means to not be the body. That we are not the body. We are light, pure love, one with everyone and everything. This light encompasses everything. And this is what we are. This is our true identity. And so now it's just a happy game I play. It's like, oh, wow, I get to be this light with this body costume. And people will think that anybody who's connecting with the light, that you're just like them as a body. They'll think, oh, she still must suffer, experience pain, have judgments, still she must attack, because all bodies do. But inside there's like this joy that's like, oh, ha, they think I'm a body. They think I'm a person. And this is what Jesus means by in the world but not of it.
Exactly. And I always thought, I don't know what I thought. It was very not clear, very vague. I had vague ideas about exactly that. You say it should be something very different than the way I'm living my life. And it has to be in the future. And I don't know, angels singing or a light that I haven't seen before. And when I read your book, when I do the 40 days, when I listen, it's very practical and it's very here and it's very now. And it's exactly as Jesus says in the book. And yet it's like I'm coming closer to it. But how is it to live here and be awakened? How is it to live like that here
Yeah,
and now?
these are such good questions, and I love that you said that the idea that I thought it was in the future. That
Yeah,
was new. Like
yeah,
I just thought like there must be some experience that others have had that I'm
exactly.
not having that someday I'll have, and like
And others have it, but I can't.
others have it and I don't have it, and I'm just I'll get there someday. And so to me, how does it feel to live this
Yeah,
life? It feels just simple. It doesn't feel like a big deal. It's and my husband Bill and I will talk about this. Like, I don't know when this change happens. I literally can't pinpoint. Like, you have some teachers like Eckhart Tolle and Byron Katie and Adyashanti. They can pinpoint the moment, the exact moment of awakening. You know, like Byron Katie with a beetle crawling up her leg, and she had this awakening. Like, I never had that. I didn't have angels show up. I didn't have a moment. I had a Course in Miracles. Like, I had this mind training that took me through lessons where over time things started falling away. So alcoholism fell away, depression fell away, sadness fell away, pain fell away. And it didn't happen overnight. For me, it happened very, very, very slowly. So it feels like kind of like the tip of like an iceberg, you know, like chunks of it falling off and floating away. And so there were things falling away, but there were still things left. So one of them was money. I had major money blocks because I just had so many beliefs around money, and I thought money is not spiritual. I don't need money. I need God. That's all I want. I want only love. But I didn't have no money. I couldn't pay my bills. I couldn't put gas in my car. Sometimes I didn't have money to feed my cats. I mean, I really had no money. And I knew, okay, this is the sort of a science lab, a playground where I can begin to heal these ideas in me, these blocks. Because if it's true that everything that seems to be happening to me is simply reflecting beliefs that I'm holding, and that when I release the beliefs and change them and replace them with the truth, which is all described in A Course in Miracles. And I actually take all these ideas and I created this course called The Healing Cure. Healing is so simple. It's just to identify the blocks that are in you. I'm a body, I have no money, I'm weak, I'm frail, I'm separate, I'm alone, I'm not good enough. These are all the beliefs that we carry, and we think they're facts. They're not facts, they're just thoughts, and thoughts can be changed. And so I started replacing all those beliefs with the truth that I am abundant, I am not a body. And then sickness was another one, that I was sick and I thought, I'm sick. I'm sick, I have symptoms, I can't. All those ideas, I began, it's like reprogramming. And I realized, oh, I'm unlimited. Sickness doesn't limit me. Nothing limits me. And I began to show up in a new way. And the money blocks, as soon as the money blocks are gone, the experience of money started to be in my physical reality. And the same with sickness. Like, all the things that were limiting me before literally fell away again. So the excitement I feel to get someone to take this journey, like, I feel that's my only mission here, is just that somebody feel a stirring in them, a hope that this is possible for them, that you don't have to suffer, you don't have to keep living the way you're living, that, but you do have to do the work. Like I always just thought, oh, I need do nothing. That's an idea from A Course in Miracles. I need do nothing. And I really thought like this perfect life was going to show up. Like it was just going to be hand delivered to me. But even though I spirit need do nothing, I, Lisa body identity, needs to show up in a different way, needs to undo all these blocks. And so it's a commitment. It really is. There's everyone who takes this path and says, I would like to do this. My suggestion is that you make a total commitment. You say, I'm all in and I'm not stopping halfway. I'm going in this lifetime all the way until I know this joy, I know this peace, I know this freedom. And that's why I feel joy all the time, because I know I've reached the place. And so to live an awakened life, it actually looks exactly the same as before. There's nothing special in my life. There's nothing, it's the same. There's me, and there's right now we're in, coronavirus time and the world is shut down. So it's mostly just me and my husband, Bill, and our 2 cats. And, it's a simple life.
And I hear it's more joy. It's simple and it's joyful. Are you joyous all the time? Are you never sad?
Well, I get that question a lot.
Yeah.
Its answer is yes. I am. There's a joy that never, ever goes away, but it's
Right.
not the joy that the world thinks of, like cheerleader joy. It's not that kind of a joy. So I'll just give you an example of what happened in the last couple of days. I saw this video online of this beautiful guy. There's just pure love. He's Christian though, and that doesn't matter to me, but a lot of his language was Lord Jesus Christ and, all that Christian language. But he was expressing a dream where he got this, he was given, the voice for God gave him an assignment to pray for Trump. And I'm immediately like, this fireworks went off in my head, like, oh, I'm on board with this. Now, I'm not political, but I just thought, like, yes, until we see love and truth in everyone, everything, no exceptions. Well, I didn't actually watch the end of the video. I got so excited that I just sent a message out to my mailing list. I got hundreds of messages over the last couple of days. People were so angry, disappointed in me, shame on you kind of emails. Like, I'm disappointed in you, Lisa. I loved you. I've done a 40-day. It's changed my life, but now you've gone off the deep end. And there was just this joy in me still to see that buttons were being pushed all over the map by this little video I sent out. And what was amazing is that in the next 24 hours, I got messages from almost everyone who sent me a message attacking me. And after they pushed the send button, they felt bad.
Yeah.
Because that's what attack thoughts do. You're attacking yourself. You think, I'm correcting Lisa. I'm letting her know I'm frustrated. I'm letting her know she's disappointed me. You're only attacking yourself, and you're only going to get the results of that. So that's the beauty of mind training. And they wrote me back. I got 100 more letters from these people who said, after I sent that email, I sat quietly and I realized, okay, that's a grievance and I don't want to have a grievance anymore. And that's an attack thought and I don't want to have an attack thought anymore. So even though maybe we don't know like what to do about the circumstance, we do know one thing. I don't want to attack myself or anyone anymore.
Mm.
And I don't want to hold attack thoughts about anyone. I would like to take this journey and see something brand new. And so that's the joy that's always in me. It's not connected to anything in the world. So many people would say, oh, you're getting all this hate mail. And it wasn't really hate mail. I shouldn't say that. It was more like irritation, anger mail. But the self that I am was just in pure joy that people were suddenly in a space where it's like, oh, they're not sleepwalking anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like I sent a message, and then here's the funny thing. If I had watched that whole video, I wouldn't have sent it. But that's how spirit works sometimes.
Yeah.
Spirits, it just was like, I literally got to maybe 3 minutes of that video before next thing I know, I'm over in my mailing list sending it to everyone. But that's how I trust. I just do not second guess the action that's coming through me. Because if I had watched that whole video, I wouldn't have sent it. And there wouldn't have been hundreds of people now who are having this awakening.
Yeah. I want what you have.
Well, you have what I have. I mean, look at you.
I am on my path going there, but I definitely want to have that. Absolutely.
But you have it, you see, and this is I'm so grateful you said that, because that's the point. Like you have this, you are this. I'm looking right at it. Then this joy is, I get chills all up and down again right now, Anna, because this is where we see there's no order of difficulty in miracles in the immediacy of accepting this. So in this moment, you, Anna, accept your holiness, your innocence, your light, your joy. I mean, I give so much thanks to you that you're having this podcast. Like for that brings me so much joy that this message begins to go out. Do you know how many people right now are sitting alone in the world with no money, in absolute terror and fear? I get messages from people who want to kill themselves.
Yeah.
I get all sorts of messages that people are feeling alone and stuck and then they hear a message. Like the 40-day program you mentioned starts on Monday. So this coming Monday, which is the 20th, that we're doing another live launch.
That's so generous of you. It's so amazing to spend time with you and Bill.
Yeah, so we're doing 2:00 on Monday. We're starting a group launch. Anybody, it's totally free. So I'm going to do a little webinar 2:00 Eastern on Monday, and then it's 40 days. I'll post the link on my website at lisanatoli.com. It's at the Teachers of God Foundation also. And then in August also, I'm doing in the presenter series an entire month on superabundance. So I love the idea of helping people through their money limitation blocks. So that's also going to be over at the Teachers of God Foundation. But I don't know. I feel just so much joy in showing people the simplicity of this work.
And it's so, it feels so good that it has been slow for you. I've been close to Katie and to Eckhart Tolle for a long time, and they had those spectacular awakenings. And when I think it will look like that, then it happens.
You use them though, even if you use them as the example, and if you follow them as I have, and they say it, they had an instant awakening, but then they had to like backtrack to create the foundation under them so that it sticks.
It's like I've been waiting for that happening. And to me, it feels so good. I relax when I hear your story, because I realize that I am slow, and I can see that it has been a gradually process of awakening that is going on. And when you see it in me, and this is also in the course, when you see it in me, I can feel it, because you have it.
Yep.
Consciously. And then I feel it, and it is like a spot here in my heart.
Yep.
It has started to I don't know, it just feels very good in this spot.
It does feel good.
In my
And
heart.
I like that you said that, because see, that's to me like what we're called to do now, is that we go through the awakening, and I encourage everyone to not wait till you think you've arrived. You
Right.
never arrive. Like I
Right.
never arrive. It's always an expansion. But to begin to tell people what you see, even if you don't think you see it, like I don't see angels, and I don't see auras, and I don't see all of those kinds of things, but I see you.
Yeah.
So like one of the things that happened recently, which I think I posted them, I'll post them on my website again, but in the Healing Cure, so I have this 8-week coaching program for true healing. And we have once a month Zoom calls through December 2020. And it was just this kind of bonus I threw in. And I love hearing people's stories, but it's amazing to hear how many people say what you just said to me, that I saw something in them and I told them about it before they knew it.
Yeah.
And one woman, Joan in Germany, she was so mad at me, and she didn't tell me about it till later, but she said she just thought that, I think she used the word bullshit. Like I said, this, you are pure light. And she was like, what a scam. This Lisa, what a scam. She's just saying stuff. And it wasn't until a year later when she had a direct experience of what I told her about a year earlier. And then she shared with me how that was a gift to her. So that's why also I think when people take on a teaching function like I have, you have to be okay with people not being happy with you, because, you know, like that saying, you got to kill the messenger. Yeah. Right? Like they put Jesus on the cross. Jesus came offering
I actually
only
never heard that before. You got to kill the messenger. What I've heard is don't kill the messenger.
Exactly. So we come offering just love, peace, joy, and your full inheritance. And when somebody's in a state of mind of separation and they want to hold on to their story of suffering and sickness, and here we come along, the Christ, and I don't join people in their suffering, and that makes people very angry. Yeah. They want me to say, oh. I won't. I mean, I will listen. Always the practice is to really stay present for what you're to do in every moment. But no one's a victim in my world. No one. Everyone is powerful beyond belief, with the power of God and light in them. And so when people start pulling out the victim card on me, I'm just inside, I'm laughing. Inside, I'm like, okay, they don't know who they are. And it's just going to be a matter of time before they see this. That was the victim thing, and the feeling sorry for yourself is just part of, for many, it's part of your childhood upbringing. It got you things. It got you days off from school, days off from work. It got you attention. It got you love, kept you safe. Yeah. And at the point where it's like, oh, I don't need any of that anymore. I don't need to be sick to take a day off. I'll just take a day off. Like, and this is where I love working with people so much, because I see all the fear that comes up, where when you start to step into full power, it's people around you are going to get afraid. it's like the world starts to shift. And a lot of people will revert back to trying to hold on to jobs, relationships,
Yeah.
and that's okay. But when finally one has had enough and says, I'm ready to take this journey, then that's the beginning.
To finish with an advice to people who just have met the course, what advice would you give them?
I would just say, let today be a brand new beginning.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. Like, I think especially Course in Miracle, people who've had the course for a long time, they might think, well, I've done it already. I know it. It's not working. Forget all of that. Like, I would just say, let all that go. Just like push the delete button on your past and begin again today. To say, today's a new beginning, and I'm going to identify to the best of my ability with my innocence, with my holiness, to begin to just say, I would like to see things differently. And like A Course in Miracles says, I'm determined to see things differently. And that's what happened to those people in my email box.
Yes.
It's like
Exactly.
they sent something that's part of an, like, almost like an automatic, habitual, unconscious way of being. We blurt things out without pausing. So the practice then is to stay in the quiet and say, I'm determined to see this differently.
Beautiful.
And that's what I would say. And to anybody who doesn't have the course, I would say get a copy of it. I would say get a copy of this one.
Yeah, and it's on
This one's
Kindle, that one. I have it on
$40,
Kindle.
right?
It's so good. I mean, in Sweden, I can't find that one, but I can buy it on Kindle.
You can find this one. This one is available from the Circle of Atonement. You can order it from their
Yeah,
website.
I can order it from America. That's what I can do.
They'll
Yeah,
ship it to Sweden.
yes. Absolutely.
And then
Thank you.
join the 40-day. That's what I would say. I would say
Yeah,
join the 40-day on Monday.
absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so
Anna,
much,
thank you with
Lisa.
all my heart for everything, for inviting me, for your devotion, for your joy.
And I will see you Monday.
I'll see you in Sweden also, probably.
Absolutely. Come to the north.
You're way in the north, I know.
Yes.
I love you.
I
Thank
love
you.
you too. Thank you.